What makes a lake worthy of being listed in the top 10 water destinations in Utah? We're finding out today on At Your Leisure as we talk to the experts and learn what bodies of water have inspired each of them. I'm Stephen Heumann. Join me as I jump from one end of the state to the other in search of that perfect summer watering hole.
Then you'll want to follow me, Zack, as I discover why the small town of Koosharem is the perfect gateway to off-road adventure.
Lastly, we'll find out how Zion National Park is partnering with private enterprise to make your dollar go further. It's all here right now on AYL. Memorial Day has always been the unofficial start of summer, when boaters are able to get their first taste of the water after a long season of dry dock. A day on the lake is unlike any other form of recreation. Families are together, enjoying their preferred thrill without having to even get off the boat. Dozens and dozens of lakes are scattered throughout Utah, some natural, some man-made, some famous, some completely unknown. Each one has a story to tell, but some of them are worth highlighting and putting on your list of favorites. And so that is what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at the top 10 boating destinations in the state of Utah, where they are, what makes them special, and what you can do there. So how about we start right now?
If you're asking me about what type of boating, the top 10 places, depends on what type of boating you're wanting to do. If I want to go out and relax and enjoy and not have a stressful boating experience, I like Lost Creek Reservoir. And Lost Creek Reservoir is a reservoir where it's a wakeless reservoir, so you're not going to go out and ski and do all that kind of wakeboarding, surfing, but it's a very, very serene place. And I started going to this reservoir when I was 4 years old with my dad. And it's just northeast of Croydon, it's Lost Creek Reservoir. If you're asking me if I want to go out and surf and ski and explore and wave runners and do all sorts of fun stuff like that, Lake Powell is definitely my favorite place to boat in this entire country. It's the largest shoreline lake in the United States, even bigger than any of the Great Lakes. I have been there over 1,000 times.
Well, my favorite's Bear Lake. It's a very big lake. The water's so pretty. It's big enough that even with a lot of people, you can still have a good time and not be too crowded.
It's like an emerald blue or turquoise blue, and the bottom is just clear white sand, so it's just brilliant blue colors.
But it is cold though. That is one drawback to Bear Lake.
Jordanelle is one of the top state parks in Utah. I love the scenery, I love the views, I love the water. I've been a boater and a camper my whole life and love this environment. We have a beautiful public beach area with a playground and cabana facilities.
One of my favorites is Utah Lake, and a lot of people don't go down there because they're afraid of the water. It's a shallow lake, but I like it because of that. It doesn't have the pressure a lot of the lakes have, and I like the fish, so it has a variety of fish.
On a lake, when you're on a boat, the entire family, one place, one time, you're together all the time. Most of the time you don't have cell phone service, so you can just be with your family and you can enjoy and make lifelong memories.
Well, there is our first 5, but there are tons of lakes in Utah, obviously, and we can't put them all on the top 10. This is one of them. This is Panguitch Lake, a beautiful area just outside of Panguitch, Utah on Highway 89. Perfect place for the family, great for fishing, and absolutely gorgeous. Well, we're going to continue our top 10 a little bit later in the show, but right now we've got to go off to our travel adventure. We're hitting the dirt and finding out a little bit more about the town of Koosharem.
Hey guys, Zack here with your travel adventure today. So I set up this ride with Jorgensens about a week ago. We're just outside of Koosharem. Weather report said it was going to be like 60, 70 degrees, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's not exactly what ended up happening today.
In this area at this time of year, you can have all 4 seasons. You can have nice sunshine, throw it a little ways, turn to rain. Like we had earlier, we had snow. When you go from 5,000 feet to 10 or 11,000 feet, it's a completely different climate. So you got to be prepared for everything.
Preparation is key when it comes to enjoying the great outdoors, especially in a place as unpredictable as Utah. Extra clothing, water, snacks, and other items are essential for a typical ride up along the Paiute Trail System.
The trail system's awesome. You go through, every different types of riding. We got to go through rock, we got to go through a bunch of different stuff, and get to go through a bunch of different elevation and get up here to the Aspens, and it's been great. There are a ton of trails up here that you can choose from. If something doesn't go quite right or if something's washed out, there's always another route that you can take.
One's preparation of a ride doesn't just consist of packing the proper essentials, or even, actually understanding what the weather is going to be like.
Utah weather! Why are you doing this? It's May, you guys! It's May! Why is this happening?
No, it extends to knowing about the trail system you're riding on and knowing the abilities of the people riding with you. Heaven forbid, if your machine breaks down or if you get yourself into a mess, you want a partner who can get you out of it or who won't get lost when they go looking for help.
You always want to have an escape route. When you get up on the mountain or on this side and the storm blows in, you don't want to have to go over the top. You want to have a lower route, a different way out without going up over something that could be messy.
You definitely want to be prepared up here because it takes quite a while to get down depending on how far you go up. So always make sure you have extra gas or as much gas as you need for the ride that you're planning on, and some more just in case something doesn't go to plan.
Nothing kills a trip faster than an issue that could have been fixed with just a little bit of forethought. And that can be devastating considering just how much there is to explore right out of Koosharem on the Paiute ATV Trail System.
We can go from here to Salina, to Richfield. We can go on over the mountain and drop into Beaver, Aurora, go over to Circleville, into Koosharem. Just the old one makes a loop. It's almost 300 miles. And there's hundreds of miles of side trails that are part of the ATV trail system. But there's also probably a couple or several hundred miles of Forest Service roads that we can ride too. So since I moved down here, I've ridden probably 34,000 miles. And it's just beautiful country, very few restrictions. We can take off from here and I've ridden to Mesquite.
It can be pretty easy for that kind of mileage to sound daunting to somebody, like myself, who is new to the area, which is why I was glad to have experts from Jorgensens to set me off on the right path.
We're a power sports dealer. We sell motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides with the bowling alley attached to the power sports dealership. It's a fun atmosphere. We have a lot of fun there. Life is really about experiences and the memories, and I think that this is one of the best ways you can possibly do that. And I love hearing the stories from people when they come back after we were able to get them the machine that they want, and just to see the smile on their face, it's definitely worth it.
Well, every great ride's got to end with a great meal, so we've stopped here at the Koosharem Cafe. How's everybody's food so far?
Fantastic.
Good? Good? Done. Good. Now to get to the ride that we went on today, it's really easy. You come down to Koosharem, go to the gas station. It's the only one in town, really easy to find. You head north, keep following that road, it'll start turning. Then you'll hit a sign that says the Koosharem Canyon Trailhead. And you follow that up, there's plenty of trails, side trails to keep you occupied for hours. Or you can go down to Jorgensens in Richfield, get a trail map from them, and be on your way. I'm gonna eat my burger. Oh, that's good. That's good. And you guys go to commercial break.
How much do you think it would cost to spend a few days at a golf resort with your accommodations on the fairway and a lake to your back? $200 or $300 a night? How about $25 or $30? Race City RV can make that dream come true because Utah has several state parks with golf courses attached. Race City RV has the RV that's right for you. Find out how you can enjoy the passion of your dreams in the outdoors with a new RV from Race City RV, Utah's low price leader since 1946.
Too often we find ourselves in shoes like these, or these. Wouldn't it be nice to change into something more like this, or this? How about these? Put on whatever shoes you prefer and come to Beaver County. We have exactly the adventure you need to put under them. So the next time you want to change out of these, come to Beaver County where you can jump into a pair of these. Beaver County, Utah. Lace up for adventure.
I've got an idea.
Go, seek, discover what lies beyond. On the entirely new 2018 Gold Wing Tour from Honda.
Product review time for Race City RV, and guess what? Once again, we got something you've never seen before. This is the Sportster. It's a new line Race City's carrying from the people at KZ. This one is a 32-foot toy hauler, therefore the TH extension on it. It is really nicely finished. The big thing on these is value. You know, I could use a pillow. Chad, could you see to it?
Well, one of the nice things about this toy hauler is the climate package. Down in the basement, there's two ways to keep things warm. One is you put things next to things that are warm. The other way is to blow heat down in there, and that's how they do this trailer, is they blow heat in there, keep everything warm so you don't have your tanks freezing up on you.
KZ does a really nice job of giving you a good finish, giving you lots of upgrades, lots of stuff included standard, but they always manage to do it at a really good price. Now, we're going to go inside and take a look. I did want to point one thing out. They have a thing called the One Key. There's not another single key that matches this trailer anywhere in existence. They have a totally unique locking system, so there's never a duplicate anywhere.
One of the nice things about this toy hauler is the 13-foot garage.
I am looking at this 13-foot garage back here. This is great. You know, 10 feet is usually your 4-seater RZR. 10, 11 feet, you got 13 feet here. So if you don't go too high on the top rail, that's what you can get in here. I've gone clear to the other end of the trailer right now. I'm up in the master bedroom. This is up in the nose. Privacy curtain, so that between your main living area, your main salon, as they say in the yacht business, and your bedroom, you've got a little bit of privacy. Just like being at a restaurant, isn't it? Other than the waiter's got it backwards. It's in a bay, so you've got a view of the outside, which makes it really nice. And you're right across from the kitchen, so while the designated cook is cooking, you can have a nice conversation with them. You know what I'm really enjoying about some of these new trailers is they've gone back to dark woods. And it creates kind of a cozy den-like atmosphere. For a while it got really sterile, it got really white, they went to bleached woods. Those kind of always have looked unfinished to me. I like the richness of the dark wood and the fact that it's making a comeback. You should go check this out at racecity.com. It's a really great toy hauler. Or better yet, stop up there and touch it, feel it, enjoy the color of the wood. And we'll see you next time on the Race City RV Review. I'm Chad Booth. At your lease, we'll be back in just a minute.
This one's for the daring and defiant, the ones who prefer a path that hasn't been paved for them, who see an open space as an invitation to send it, and gravity as a mere suggestion. The Can-Am Spring Fever sales event is on now. Visit your local dealer for details.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We're having a great time talking about the top 10 boating destinations in the state of Utah. But I also wanted to point out that we couldn't put every lake on that list, and this is one of them. This is Tropic Reservoir. Great place to come up with the family, very beautiful, and only about 20 miles from Bryce Canyon National Park, so great place to come. But we are concentrating on our top 10 today, so why don't we continue with that list right now?
I probably, better than most people, had a chance to see almost all the lakes because I was commissioned to write a book on boating, well, probably, 17, 18 years ago. I kind of like the unusual lake, and there are a couple of them that really stand out in my mind. One of them is Navajo Lake, and this is a lake that's not going to be good for speed boating. It's not going to be good for water skiing because it's at 9,000 feet above sea level. It's up at the top of the canyon on Highway 14 outside of Cedar City, and it sits right up on a plateau. There's a little lodge out there, and it's just a place to take a small boat.
I'd have to say Flaming Gorge. It's not too hot. There's a lot of beautiful places to go see around the lake. It's not very crowded, and I like to camp up there at nighttime. It's great sleeping weather.
Well, Hiram's a nice lake too. It's close, but yet it doesn't get the crowds that some of the big lakes get. It's just perfect for water sports. You can do all the water sports activities, you can fish, you can camp, and it's not that far. So yeah, the campground's right on the water, it's right by the launch ramp, so you can camp and then have your boat just not very far away from your camp spot. The thing I liked is it wasn't very crowded.
The one that I think that might be unknown is the reservoir in Manaway. I don't see a lot of boats going there, but it's smooth. You hardly ever get any wind, and it's just an all-around great lake for wakeboarding and fishing and everything.
Another one that I think is just really underrated, and it's a unique lake because there are only 2 lakes that you can actually live on the shore of and have shoreline property with your own docks in Utah. One of them is Bear Lake, and the other one is in Gunnison Bend, which is out in Delta. And that's a little horseshoe lake. You know, you get out there, there's one launch ramp that's run by a city park, and you think, well, this thing's too small to even water ski on, but it's horseshoe shaped. And so you're looking across the flat, you see these houses on the other side, and you're seeing less than half the lake.
Every time you go to a new place, it changes with the water levels. Go to the same spot, but it's like a new spot because of the shorelines change and all that. So just love it. Love to swim and just be with my family on the lake.
I just love finding out about why people love certain places, you know, whether it's a boating destination or whatever, because they always have these personal connections with their parents or with kids, or with Chad, for example. I mean, you would never know that he actually wrote a book on every single lake in Utah, and he has a personal story for every single one. And it's so great to hear those stories and to then go out and make your own at your own favorite destination. Well, we got to go off to our trailhead adventure brought to you by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Now, there's been a lot of talk about our national parks like Zion and Bryce raising their prices, but some partnerships that are on the way are actually keeping that from happening and allowing you to enjoy these parks at the same price.
The impacts of time are rarely more evident than a place like Zion National Park. The Virgin River carved through here for eons, leaving behind the bluffs and iconic formations millions of visitors come to see and explore every year. More recent history has sometimes overshadowed these legendary views, though, as rumbles of doubling the cost to drive through the park have raised eyebrows from rural Utah to the streets of Washington, D.C.
Well, a lot of people believe that because we have 4.5 million visitors who came here last year to the park, they put that in their calculator, they multiply it times $30 or $15, and they think, how can the parks be, needing more money? Because that's such a large sum of money. And what a lot of folks don't understand is that the money that comes through the park, through visitors, through the fee gates, can only be used for certain things. We can't hire interpretive rangers, we can't hire law enforcement rangers, we can't hire maintenance workers or crew workers. as visitor increases have taken place over the last 10 years, our annual budgets have decreased. So it's not a real good equation for continuing to run the park. We're going to run into a problem, and that's why Zion National Park has embarked on what's called a visitor use management plan, and that is to figure out how we can better manage high visitation with our limited resources and our limited infrastructure.
As money from entrance fees is taken by Congress and used elsewhere, all while lowering the park's budget, ideas for using these limited resources have become more clever and innovative. One solution has seen private entities step in to help keep the park running. American Express, who is currently giving large grants to Zion for improvement costs, is one of those partners.
If we don't have enough funding from Congress to manage those kinds of things, we have to rely, and we do rely heavily on our public-private partnerships.
We don't have enough park rangers, and so we rely on our volunteers to help run this place. And we are also one of the parks that does not have enough housing for volunteers, and so I turn away hundreds of people a year that want to come and help their national park, their public lands. We were presented with an opportunity through the National Park Foundation and through the generous donation from American Express to build 2 to 3 new trailer pads specifically for volunteers that can work in any of our park divisions and help our 4.5 million park visitors in countless ways. So we now have places to put these volunteers. They're going to come and stay for 2 to 3 to 4 month stints, so they're really going to get to know the environment and the park really well, and they're going to be able to help us on the front line. So at the visitor center desk, they're going to be able to help us out in the campgrounds, at the pedestrian entrance.
The American Express grants will allow park resources to expand, not only because Zion won't have to cover the cost for the housing units, but more volunteers will mean fewer new rangers will need to be hired. It won't, however, fix the ongoing congressional budget battles that continually siphon entrance fees from the cash-strapped national park.
If we could just make some changes, some small tweaks to some of the accounting rules, then we could better fund the park, we could have better experiences for visitors. It could all work out great. We just have to make some of these changes at much higher levels than at the park level.
You can't help but look at the rippling stone of Zion and feel a part of time's endless tapestry. These canyons and cliffs will be here long after we've all been ushered along life's path. But hopefully, political short-sightedness won't keep visitors from catching a much grander view of time as they take in the wonder that is Zion National Park.
A river environment, slot canyons, world-renowned hikes, and we're also close enough to other parks like Bryce and the Grand Canyon that a lot of people make a big grand circle. So it's just a wonderful place to live and work.
From the overlooks of Zion, I'm Joe Davis.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
Meet the new leader in off-road utility, the completely reinvented Ranger XP 1000. It's got the most power, the largest towing capacity, the highest ground clearance, and the best comfort and storage. Introducing the all-new Polaris Ranger XP 1000, the hardest working, smoothest riding Ranger ever built.
Beautiful scene, isn't it? The great wide spaces of the wild, wild West. Hi, I'm Chad Booth, host of At Your Leisure. I'm asking you to support the Blue Ribbon Coalition. Their efforts responsibly preserve access to our public lands. If it were not for the Blue Ribbon Coalition and their efforts, you may not have access to millions of acres of land across the West. This is America's playground, and if we don't do anything, we are going to lose it. Join, participate, and donate.
Living in Utah, we're lucky we can enjoy riding our recreational vehicles year-round in the mountains, at the dunes, rock crawling, or road riding. Stedman's Recreation has Utah's largest selection of Honda, Polaris, Yamaha, and Beta machines. See them all at Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. Need a tune-up, new tires, or accessories? Stedman's Service Department can help.
Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. Today we've been celebrating the top 10 boating destinations in the state of Utah, and it's been so much fun just finding out about, some of the big lakes that you know about and some of the smaller ones that you don't. Well, I'm here at another of the smaller ones that didn't make the top 10, but is definitely worth coming and exploring. This is Paiute Reservoir. It's a great place to come and fish. It's very beautiful and serene, very quiet. So it's definitely worth coming out here with your family and creating some memories of your own. Now we've got to look at upcoming events, and since we're here at Paiute Reservoir, we need to talk about the Paiute ATV Jamboree, which is going on in August 9th through the 12th. You can sign up now at utvjam.com. It's filling up fast, so register. We were actually here last year and we had an absolute blast. They have like ATV soccer and all these different events and the rides going out of Marysville. So join us for that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now let's take a look at our giveaway winner for this week. Lacey Bloomquist Bagnall sent in this photo with her A-Rail sticker right there. You are our winner of a family 4-pack to Fast Carts. This is a great place to go. You guys will love it. Congratulations. Call us at 801-947-8888 to claim your prize. And remember, for everybody, get your AYL stickers, send us photos, post them on Facebook. Whatever you need to do, get them to us and you can win. Now let's take a look at the next episode of AYL.
What happens when you rappel into a red rock canyon and your only way out is down? Well, we're going to find out next week as Steve and Corinne learn the ropes in one of the most amazing spots in the Southwest. From there, you'll want to climb onto your ATV with me, Zack, as I follow the trail less traveled and show off some lesser-known riding areas that will inspire you to get out and explore. And finally, Reese Stein hits the waters of Joe's Valley.
It's always great finding out about new destinations, and I've had so much fun today learning about all of these different lakes, many of which I've never been to. Now, if you have a favorite, and I'm sure you do, get on Facebook and tell us what it is, because we want to know what you guys love and the experiences you've had out on the water. Well, that's the end of this week's show. Thanks for watching. I'm Stephen Heumann, and as we always say, get out there and create your own adventure at your leisure. 20 miles down that way, so you can put it as a pod.
Hey, stop it! Stop it right now!
There's got to be a glossary in this thing.